Welcome, Armchair Generals, Weekend Warriors, and Saturday Soldiers alike. This is Ostentatiousness, and welcome back to a brand new Let's Play called R.U.S.E. Now, I say welcome back because I was thinking about it all night. I was really unhappy with the first two videos I did of this. Yeah, it was a shit show. So I've deleted both videos and I am redoing them. Now, R.U.S.E is a game developed by Eugene Studios and published by Ubisoft in 2010. Now, previously I didn't actually know why you couldn't find it on Steam anymore, but I actually learned why. The license to the military to represent the military equipment in this expired, and Ubisoft either couldn't or didn't, or couldn't get the chance to, or didn't want to renew that license, so they pulled it off Steam. I believe you can possibly still get hard copy versions, or I believe Xbox 360 and PlayStation, whichever the fuck. I can't actually remember specific which PlayStation. I think you can still get disc versions of it, but on Steam, it's a relic of the past. Now, Eugene Studios has made actually a couple of really good games. The Act of War series, which is another one I really want to jump onto, and the... Give me a second. Steel Division, Normandy 44 and Steel Division 2 series. They've also done a few other games, but... The War Game series as well. And there's a couple of other single-release ones floating around there, but I'm not that familiar with anything but their War Game series. Now, I wanted to save it till later because I thought it was a really unique mechanic, but R.U.S.E, as the name would suggest, is all about misinformation, deception. So one of the things that you get are R.U.S.E cards, and they can be things such as a fake building or a fake assault, or my personal two favorites, camo netting and radio silence. Camo netting hides your buildings and radio silence hides your units, and I do plan on doing a selection of multiplayer maps against the AI, just to show you how you can just cheese the AI, and because even though the machine should know where you are, it won't actually know where you are. I plan on playing through the campaign, a few of the multiplayer, or a few of the battles, and the operations. I've never actually done any of these, so yeah, that'll be interesting to try. What else? No, that's about it. I will explain things as they pop up, to the best of my memory as I explained it in the first go-round. So without further ado, let us go. Oh yes, I believe I first tried playing on beginner strategist, not knowing how the game would play, back when I originally played it, but you can't change the difficulty mid-game, so I had to completely restart and try for that. So, Wargamer, I will be playing on the hardest difficulty in the game. I don't know if that cheats and makes the AI any beefier, but we'll see.
Nightingale calling nest. Nightingale calling nest.
Nest. Over.
Prometheus, identity still unknown.
Prometheus unknown. Over.
The Germans have moved Admiral Canaris. He's no longer at Flossenberg camp. He's been taken to Colditz Castle.
Canaris moved. Taken to Colditz Castle. Over.
I bribed my way in. I may have been compromised.
Could you repeat that? Over.
I said,
Nightingale? Nightingale? Nightingale!
Why the hell are we cooling our heels here? I figured with Sheridan running the show, we'd be in Berlin kissing the Frauleins by now.
Because the general said so. You don't go second-guessing 3 stars. And what do you want?
Give me 4. Yeah, but why here? I thought we were gonna go meet the Ruskies at the Elbe.
Rumor says there's a VIP we gotta get out of the Nazi jail. The top brass figured if they want it done right and done fast, call Sheridan. You wanna draw 4? Show me the ace.
Come on, I got an ace. Give me 4.
Show me a goddamn ace!
At ease. The rest of the army will move without us. We have a side mission. To penetrate the German lines at Leipzig and secure Colditz Castle. Yesterday.
Speed is of the utmost importance. We cannot give her interrogators time to take certain measures. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Hey, Kowalski. I bet you didn't even have a face card.
Ah, hell, General.
I appreciate you doing this, Joe. We know she's here. Colditz Castle. Right across the other side of the city.
It's too bad for Leipzig. We don't have time to go around.
Indeed. The clock's our worst enemy
Proceeds to
now.
immediately go around the city.
Are you sure you can do this?
I got as much reason as you to find out who's behind this.
Yeah.
Let's roll.
At one point I said I did notice the first time, Sheridan has a remarkably small number of campaign ribbons and award ribbons for someone who's supposed to be a fucking 3-star general. Anyway, this is Leipzig. This is the game kind of sucking itself off and showing you how pretty it is. If the game doesn't look terribly good on the video output, don't worry, it doesn't actually look terribly great for me either, and that water is still fucking possessed. It's a good-looking game, but you find an interesting problem with old games. They just can't handle modern rigs. They end up looking like trash because the modern rig is too powerful. So, yeah.
The troops are waiting for your orders, Joe.
So, while I do this, because I'm not actually being timed, I'll give you a brief description. So,
Forward. Straight ahead.
yeah, you select units with the left click, you deselect with the right click, you give orders with the left click, you double left click to select all units of that type, drag and drop, zoom out. If you say right click that stack, it would target all 3 of these tanks, etc, etc, etc. Some units, such as fighter bombers, can't attack unidentified units, such as these, but they could attack these units, which are identified. Yeah, but the point I want to make is the stats. So, Super Pershing, a late enhanced version of the M26 Pershing, the M26 A1E2, dubbed Super Pershing, because apparently I'm now Sean Connery, was able to fight on equal terms with any heavy tank of the conflict. With better mobility and tight rotation speed, equivalent armor, and better muzzle velocity, the Super Pershing was deadlier than the original M26. In fact, it could be said the Super Pershing already had one track in the Cold War. Oh, so funny. Yeah, no, the Super Pershing actually was a pretty good tank. So, what does this all mean? So, I can't specifically mention what resistance means, but I think that means it's health. Armor is 60 millimeters, which the thickness of armor determines which grade of armor it is, so it would be grade 4. So against itself, its armor-piercing shells will only do 24 damage. Against a grade 1 tank, it'd probably turn it to fucking paste. There are infantry, vehicle, and buildings, and then there are levels of armor and also aircraft and range. Most units have multiple different weapons. I believe this is even, for some units, this number means number of weapons or rate of fire. So tanks, it can basically spit out 4 of these in the rotation, or it can do a burst of machine gun fire once for every 4 shells it puts in the air, which makes sense. Your tank isn't going to be focusing on machine gun fire. For infantry squads, though, I think that actually counts like how many weapons they've technically got in the squad to use. And you also notice that damage drops off at range. And so I think against a Maus well, not even range, at increased armor thickness, but at range, one of these would be plinking away at the armor of the Maus tank. There are other vehicles, no, not the Chaffee. Nope, still not the Chaffee. Not the Sherman. The Jackson. So, the Jackson does slightly better, but can only fight against armor units, which is a bit dumb, because I'm pretty sure most Jacksons did have a machine gun on them. Anyway. Not on any particular time restraint, so just wanted to give you a brief rundown of the vehicles. So for instance, so these guys have armor 3, resistance 400, which means at range, one of these guns will do 30 points of damage, so 120 points of damage every rotation of damage.
Squad commander, target
Sir, the Pershings are waiting for
One
orders.
of the tricks that I like to do, control and then the number keys to put units in groups. One of the tricks I like to do
General, you'll have to clear the south bank of the river for the
is
light
to,
divisions.
at least when I'm playing campaign, I care less about this. Double left click immediately to select similar units in the vicinity. One of the things I like to do in the campaign is units will take damage. It's a bit difficult to display when you move the ghost close to an enemy to target it, use left click to attack, the ghost turns into a crosshair, it shows you the odds against the target. You do various amounts of damage and then you cause a morale break across units. I like to, in the campaign, at least when I've got a limited grouping of forces at my disposal, is to break the morale of individual enemy units and then destroy them. Because they can't attack back, I believe.
Super Pershings are on loan. The High Command is going
Pardon
to want
me,
them back.
if their morale's been broken. So don't send armor through.
Clear the southern side of the bridge for the light infantry.
Don't send armor through town square or cities, because these town square areas act as cover
Sir, the field
for
artillery battalion is open.
infantry, and most infantry is armed with anti-tank weapons, and it does not care how good your tank's armor is. If your tank's right here and there's an infantry with a bazooka here, it's basically going to take it out. So, preferred method for dealing with units entrenched in forests and in buildings is actually an artillery barrage.
Yes, sir. Engage enemy. I repeat.
When the game is automatically saved when the objective is complete.
Excellent. Heavy tanks should be very effective against their defenses. Keep up the pace. You have to get across the river as quickly as possible.
Squad commander, open fire on target. Yes, sir.
They're counterattacking. Take care of them.
Unit report engagement.
Mein Panzers. My targeting individual units and routing them rather than destroying them is going to be prescient when I deal with these, because these are Colditz Tigers. Panzerkampfwagen 7s. I'm thinking I might read out the unit cards and whatnot
Reporting enemy unit down, sir.
at the end of the campaign. I might just, because all the unit cards are actually
Allied
in.
paratroopers incoming, General.
Well done. Rush
We're actually
Colditz
in a
Castle.
database.
We'll take care of the rest.
In the game where you can put, in the main menu where you can pull
We
it
have
up.
to hurry, General. Our agent in
So
Colditz is the only one that knows what's going on.
Might read through it, and or before I do the actually that's what I do. I'll do multiplayer as the different nations, and then I'll give you an opportunity to have a look at all their unit cards before multiplayer runs. Multiplayer the against AI runs. M40. I believe this was the long tom. The gun that's using on the M40 gun motor carriage is the long tom. But it is a beast of a howitzer. One thing I do actually really love is how in the campaign the units have these little names on them. It actually looks like, as you can see, a general actually pushing cards around on the board, and you don't get a good look at it in the opening cinematic, but wait, where is it? They definitely were pointing at this area here, and you could actually see this bend in the
General,
river.
Allied command has ordered the bombing of the city.
For God knows what reason, we've already bypassed it. Fun little story about the B-17 Flying Fortress. It wasn't originally called that, but yeah, they don't mention it, but because of the number of machine guns, one journalist remarked that thing's a flying fortress, because it does mention it. 13 M250 caliber machine guns. One journalist went, wow, that thing's a flying fortress. And the company that produced it went, there's the money.
There's the castle.
Sir, we have reports of an enemy battalion of heavy tanks.
Find
God,
them
these Shermans
and destroy them. They're going to try to relieve
These Super
Colditz.
Pershings just fucking eat German tanks.
Sir, heavy tanks incoming.
I am not fucking with that, not without my tank destroyers. So, I can't lose the Pershings or I lose out on that sweet, sweet experience. But fuck it, I do not care about the tank destroyers. Guys, why weren't you attacking the tank until it was attacking? Tiger? Oh, a Type 1 Tiger? It's Von Koenig's Tiger. So yeah, the King Tiger has significantly better armor. A unit suffering too much damage will rout and can't attack anymore. A unit will also move slower and can't be selected alongside other units.
Our fighter bombers are on their way, sir.
One of the things I do love about the German campaign tree is the depth of it. They get so many different units.
Sir, fighter bombers incoming. Friendlies.
And boom goes the Koenig's Tiger. God, we wiped them off the fucking board.
Brilliant work, Jay.
Fuck your trees.
Now let's see if we were fast enough. It's our last chance to discover Prometheus's identity. That bastard cost us a lot of good men.
I did also crank the graphics down a little, so it should be better. But as you guys can see, I've played a bit of rules. Anyway, so this has been the first episode of R.U.S.E, Colditz Castle. I will see you for the next one, starting